as we know that fiscal year 2023 is about to end, and with that, the season of performance appraisal is about to start, right? Well, do you get scared when you hear this word performance appraisal? Believe me, you are not alone who gets scared. There are many people, including me, who gets afraid because when I had my first performance appraisal, I did not know the whole purpose of performance appraisal, why it does happen, what is the purpose, what is the process of performance appraisal. But with time and experience, I get to understand the whole process, the purpose, and how can we handle our performance appraisal and review meeting. So that is why I wanted to share with you, if you're going to have your first performance appraisal or you want to have better meeting this time or better discussion of performance appraisal this time, you can use these steps. Hi, my name is Akanksha Verma and I am here to help you to improve your communication skills and develop your career or grow you in your career. So today I am going to share a few tips with you about performance appraisal, do's and don'ts, and especially the myths about performance appraisal. So let's begin. First of all, the myths about performance appraisal. The purpose of performance appraisal is not only related to salary increment or promotion, but the whole purpose of performance appraisal was related to your career growth, because the purpose of performance appraisal is first, to plan your career future year or upcoming year in a way so that you can have a path which is aligned with organization goal. Okay, now the second point was to give a constructive feedback to the employee so they can improve their perception, their attitude towards the organization, towards the project, and towards their team member. And since it is a two-way communication, it is not only the manager give the feedback to the employee, but employee can also ask for the task, ask for the assignments which he is interested in. Okay, so that manager can get the idea where the employee is interested and they can assign or they can plan the work or assignment according to your interest. So always remember, it is not only about the salary increment or about the promotion, but it has a broader view. So whenever you think about performance appraisal, don't only attach with the salary increment, but also think about the broader career growth. Since the career growth will happen, your salary will always increase, right? The whole purpose of this process is modified or changed. So there are shortfalls which as a manager and as an employee we need to keep while discussing about our performance appraisal. The first shortfall is, no matter how much quantifying parameters this process has, but the reviewer is the human being and that want to be subjective parameters what he has in his mind, and that include the risk of biasness. So employee has to keep in mind that there will be biasness because it is a human being. He is the manager is human being, so there will be certain percentage of biasness, unknowingly and knowingly. The manager also have to keep in mind that they have to be as much as possible to be objective while reviewing the procedure. Okay, now the second shortfall is, since the objective of this whole process is narrowed down to the salary increment and the promotion, we need to take care in mind that the employee should not be dissatisfied or discouraged for the future work. So always as a manager, we need to keep in mind that employee is encouraged for the future assignment, for the career growth, and he should have a broader vision rather than stick to salary increment and promotion. An employee also has to keep in mind that this is not only about the salary increment, but also it is a broader vision. It has the future growth and future roadmap rather than having a limited scope of salary increment. Now the third point is, since it is the base of layoff also, sometimes the whole procedure of performance appraisal is based on the layoff. So there is a chance of having the conflict between the employee and the organization, because employee always think that they deserve better and they do not deserve to be laid off. And at the other hand, organization think that their decision is right, but since they do not have sufficient data, it caused the conflict between the employee and the organization. So organization and the employee have to keep in mind that if they are taking decision of layoff between the on the basis of performance appraisal, they need to have the data point ready for the justification. Now the next point is that we try to keep everybody under the same umbrella, and in the performance appraisal process we try to compare apples and oranges, which is not at all possible. Everybody has a unique skill set and we should not compare with each other. But since the procedure says that we have to compare one unit with the other, and then we have to overall give the overall review, but that makes the again discouragement and the demotivation. So that is why we have to keep in mind, as much as possible we have to keep a rating separate person or skill set for the separate rating. So these are the shortfalls we have in the whole performance appraisal process, but this is bound to happen. This is the whole process which will take time to be corrected, but again we have to keep these points in our mind. Now let us see what are the do's and don'ts we need to keep in mind as an employee when we go for the discussion. But let's see before the discussion. First point is preparation. We have to prepare our value. We have to identify our contribution, our value, our accomplishment, what we have done in the whole year. So we should have all the data ready with us, so that we can tell the manager about our accomplishment, about our values, about our contribution, what we have done in the project and in terms of organization. So this has to be provided while having the discussion. Now while talking about this, you should have a technique, you should adopt a technique called STAR technique, where you can talk about the situation or task you were assigned, the action you have taken, and the result which has come out of your action. So these technique you have to adopt, and then you have to showcase your accomplishment and the contribution you have done in overall project. Now the second point is, while having the discussion, you should have open mindset. See, performance appraisal meeting is not as bad as we feel, because it becomes with the time it has become the point of criticism, right? With the point of having a negative or destructive feedback. So that's why we take it as a negative approach. Ask the manager why he thinks or why he says what he says, and what are the parameters or what are the steps you can take to correct these problems or these issues in performance. So all this discussion has to be happened with open mindset. So these points you have to take care. Okay. Now the third point is express your willingness. Okay. Express your future plan in terms of professional plans. You should tell that you have interest to work in a specific project or a specific technology, and then you should show your interest to the manager, so that they can also have a plan for you, a future plan for you, a career plan for you, so that they can give you a proper opportunity which will give you satisfaction and career growth as well. So these points you have to take care while having the discussion about your. The last point is, while having the discussion, that you should showcase the numbers. For example, if you have achieved something, you should say in terms of percentage. Say for example, you say that I have done certain cost reduction, then you have to say by what percentage. If you say that I have contributed in revenue increment, then by what percentage you have contributed in revenue increment. So you have to talk in data point, and if you have the proof of those in terms of documents, in terms of accomplishment, that you have to have ready in your hand, or you can have these documents available with you. So if it is needed, you can showcase to the manager. And don't think that manager knows everything because you have worked with him. See, he has hundreds of employees to review, so he does not remember exactly what you have done, what you have not done. So it is not about selling yourself, but it is showing the efforts you have put in your performance. So it is not wrong, it's not at all wrong to showcase your performance or efforts, what you have done, because you deserve it, because you have put your hard work. Okay. So now the next point is, after the meeting, once you are done with your meeting, you should write an email. It's a very positive email. Okay, don't throw this email as the proof of the discussion, but you should have a normal soft words written in it, kind of MOM, that these points were discussed and these are the plan we have discussed for my future upcoming year plan. So this is how you should write a mail. Ultimately it is a reference for your future year. Okay, so this process has to be followed while discussion or having a performance appraisal discussion. Okay, we need to be in a good books of the manager. It does not mean that you have to be a yes boss man. Okay, see, sometimes with time to time, it's not only that you have this discussion or review at the end of the year. On during the year, on frequent interval, you have a casual discussion with your boss to show your accomplishment. Okay, because he is working, he is busy in his own work, so you have to highlight your accomplishment time to time, so that he has in his mind that this person is doing something different from others in the whole year. So that is how you have to have a discussion or highlights during your accomplishment in whole of the year. The second point is that you have the good relationship with your colleagues, but make sure that it is not taken for granted and you help them. Helping each other is a very good thing, but you need to take care that your credits are not taken by others. It is not just casual help. So you have to make sure that you help others, but it is shown, it is added to your credits. Okay. Last point is that you try to find out the similarity between you and your boss, because having a similarity in terms of sharing hobbies or interest or about your family give an opportunity to talk your manager with your manager in informal or casual way. So this always try to have these points in mind in whole of the year, because performance appraisal is not about the review in last 10 days, but it is about your whole performance, about your attitude, about your behavior, about your perception, what you have done in whole of the year. Hope you like this video and find the tips useful for your upcoming performance appraisal discussion. Have used these tips and let me know how it goes. And also all the best for your next appraisal discussion, and see you in next video.